A lot of you may know, I worked in Disneyland for 2 summers, all in all 6 months. And today I want to give you my opinion on what's the worst parts in Disneyland, what's the best parts. As an employee there, what did I like about it? Because Disneyland is a place of dreams where magic happens. Little children go to live out their fantasies. But how is it for the workers there? Is it as magical for them as it is for the guests? Or is it something more worse? Because with every dream, there's somebody who needs to make it into a reality, to put in the work, to put in the effort. Editor, put in the kid sleeping in a bed, and you know, the soldier taking all the knives, just put my face on there. That's me, as a worker in Disneyland. But what are the knives? Because I plan on giving you the top 5 worst parts of working in Disneyland and the top 5 best parts of working in Disneyland. Bad thing number 1, micromanagement, I guess, which is really dumb. There's so many people managing other people, other people. I don't like that. I worked in the kitchen and there were like 5 bosses over me. And at sometimes you could have like 1 boss per 2 people. And like the second part is not micromanagement, but just being too focused on the work or like too strict with the rules. Like dumbly strict, like dummy thick strict. There are so many things that you can elevate your work level, like enjoyment of doing the actual work. Like if you're washing dishes, I mean, you should be able to listen to music with your headphones because you're not on scene. And just as a quick tangent, Disneyland categorizes into 2. You have the scene or the stage and not stage, whatever. That's where the workers are. So everywhere where the guests are is the stage. Disneyland doesn't have workers. They have actors. So on the stage, you have to be happy, do everything perfectly. But in the backstage, it doesn't really matter that much, especially in the kitchen. Also, the worst part working on stage was the music. Disneyland, a land of magic, has magical music that doesn't change throughout the day. It's just one song on a loop, a whimsical song that's just going at you for like 8 hours straight as you work there, which is so bad. It really started to weigh on you. So I did work on stage for a month before I was like, yeah, I want to work in the kitchen, please. Because on stage, I worked as a cleaner, but that also had asshole guests. At the end of the day, you had to close up that section, but people would still go in, yell at you in whatever language you don't understand, and you'd be like, what's happening? I don't know. I'd say the Karens don't appear that often, but I had friends who worked in stalls where they would sell like ice cream and they would get yelled at on an hourly basis over absolutely nothing. When I worked in front as a cleaner, sometimes people would leave their trays on table because they're too lazy to throw them away in the bins, whatever. They'd have very intact, edible food there. And you know, I'm hungry. I want to eat that shit. But the, you know, managers told me I can't. I don't like I am kind of messing with you. I promise it's not what it seems. In all honesty, yeah, I'm not gonna eat a burger even if it's intact. But one of the things that they would serve is like this Magnum ice cream. I don't know if you've ever eaten like good ice cream, because there is ice cream and then there is ice cream, which like is completely different. Like Ben & Jerry's is a leagues above like, I don't know what you'd find in your local grocery store, because like the difference in the milks they use is so much, and Magnum I feel is one of the best ones. It's a hot day, I need energy. Some guests would just straight up leave their ice cream like intact. The package hasn't been opened up. It's like a solid new ice cream that's laying on the tray. You know, you just slip the ice cream in your pockets, you go behind the scenes, you just throw the trash in a trash can and you're like, bruh. Sometimes, you know, the boss is like, bruh, why? What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm hungry. Sometimes accommodations, you don't really get to pick who you're with in the same room. Sometimes neighbors, kind of. And my roommates were pretty decent. Aside from some iffy stuff, I was in my room with my roommate. He was on his laptop doing his stuff. I was just sitting there on my laptop, like playing a game or whatever. And he just gets up, goes to the bathroom, and I start hearing... So I'm like, bro, what's happening? Out of curiosity, I know I shouldn't do that. I just went to his laptop, looked at his screen, and it was, let me just say, it was the name of an adult actress. And I'm like, oh, all right, well. And then like a minute later, he comes up, he's so happy, he's like, bruh, hell yeah. How are you doing, my man? Afterwards, every time he would be on his laptop, get up and go to the bathroom, I'd be like, come on, can't you just wait until I'm not in the apartment like a regular person? What I didn't like was kind of like a paperwork hell, because everything needed paperwork. If you're a company with like 80,000 workers, you do need to manage everything pretty well. So absolutely everything we did was, there was so much paperwork, and a lot of it was in French. I could understand French back then so much better, but if it's legalese, it's already like, I don't understand what you want from me. And every time I wanted to leave France to go back, not only did I have to fill in some paperwork that, alright, my shift was ending, but also in the spot where I was living, I have to fill in every single stuff that was in the room that it's still in the room and everybody else had to sign it too, who I lived with. So I wouldn't like be, you know, lying or like taking some stuff with me, apparently. So every spoon, fork, bowl, like everything had to be signed up. And I didn't know what half of those words meant even. I mean, thankfully one of my roommates was French. So I was like, bro, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? Sound like Japan. Number one, good stuff working in Disneyland. Cheap food. Incredibly cheap food. I think because they care about their workers in a way where, you know, you don't care about the worker, you care about the work they do. So you want your workers to be happy and to be well fed and not just, you know, mushing down on bad stuff that make you feel sluggish. No. They incentivize you to pick food that's healthy for you. They would have restaurants for their workers, and at the restaurants they would have combo meals, but the meals would be healthy food alongside with like a snack or something. If you pick a meal, then it would be so much cheaper than doing stuff on their own. So you could have like a burger or something which would be a bit more expensive, or you could just have like a burger patty with salads and stuff, and that would be like, I think, €3 for a meal. That's like $4 for a meal. Pretty much all you can eat for $4, which is incredibly good. You can get like half of that amount of food in the park for around $15. Even if you go to the park as a guest or like on your off day, because you can go to the park for free, you can just go and eat at the restaurants for the workers, because that's so much cheaper. A good part that I did like, accommodation. If you go to work there, like I did, from a different country, they don't expect you to get your own apartment or anything else. They accommodate you, and pretty cheaply too. I think it was like $300 to be put into one of their accommodations. So I mean, you do still pay, but it's $300 for a month. Of course, it's not your own pick. They do put you in different places. Like the first time I was in a motel with like one other person, it was really small. I would say the entire room was as big as this kitchen that you see for like 2 people. Third, good stuff. Payment. Disneyland pays you incredibly well. If you come from a country that doesn't pay you incredibly well, I think the payment was the minimum of what France gave you. So it was 1,500 euros, and it's the bare minimum of France. I'm coming from a country where the minimum at that time was barely $600. So this was 3 times as much as I would get, which was like, hell yes, sign me up. Disneyland pretty much paid even better than the editing that I had for like first 3 years that I did it. So I was really a fan of that. Going to the park, I loved it. Honestly, the park itself, like if you work there, you can go to the park at any time that you don't work. Like even if your shift ends, you can still go to the park for free. As a guest, I would never go there, because a bare minimum you'd spend there is like $1,000 for like tickets, spending a night, whatever. And like I mentioned in my previous Disneyland video, the maximum you can do within a day is like go to 7 attractions, which isn't a lot because most of the time you're just waiting around. But as a worker, even behind the scenes that the guests don't see is magical too. Even the workers areas are, you know, neatly managed. They have like trees, they have posters, they just have like cool stuff every here and there just to keep the employee morale up, and even have behind the scenes look like you're still a part of the magical land. If you're an employee and you can go into a fast pass, which is, you know, there's a line for guests at attractions, which is might be like an hour and a half. And then there's like a fast pass lane, which you can go at a very specific time of day. And as an employee, you can just go there and just wave your badge and be like, bruh, I work here. Can I just go in? And a lot of the time, people are like, all right, sure. I mean, I don't care. They're a fellow employee and they're like, yeah. But sometimes they're like, nah, can't allow you because there's too many guests or whatever. Last good one was you get to practice language, because I studied French for like 11 years. Can't remember any of it right now, but it was good practice, because when I went back to school, apparently my teacher told me that I didn't actually get better in French. I just started speaking in French slang, because everybody in the kitchen was, not to my knowledge, in slang. But that was fun. And also you could go to Paris anytime you wanted. But also one of the best things for the employees, you had cheap food, but also you would have stores that would have Disney merch that was kind of ruined, kind of broken, for like 90% off, which was so crazy. For example, I got this thing there. Look at this. This is heavy. This isn't plastic. This is solid metal. It goes like this. You can, I don't know, cock it. It's f***ing awesome. This cost me 50 cents. I don't even know what's wrong with it, because for guests, this thing costs maybe like 20 euros. I got a Disney statue, which was supposed to be an Eiffel Tower with like Disney in front of it and a Disneyland Paris sign. And it just didn't have Mickey Mouse. I don't know, somebody ripped it or it was broken. Instead of paying $30, I got it for maybe $2, and I didn't even get the Disney propaganda. I just had a nice statue of Eiffel Tower to memorize going to Paris. Yeah, so you see? This thing I had in my old videos. This was the statue. Also, these things. Yeah! Both of these are left-handed. What am I doing with this? I don't know. I got this for like, a pair was $1. Why not? So, what did you guys think of my list? Did you like getting insights on how it was working at Disneyland? Do you have any more questions? Leave them down below and I'll just answer them, I guess. If you haven't followed me yet, follow me on Twitch. And if you liked the video, hit the like button. Let's get to 500 likes and I'll do another story